Have you ever felt that there's something inside you that you can't explain? A force that pushes you, that whispers to you, that asks you to wake up? Imagine this. You're in front of someone you like, someone who makes your heart race, but suddenly you feel a knot in your stomach, an intuition telling you something's not right. You don't understand it. Everything seems perfect on the surface, but that inner voice won't quiet down. What if I told you that feeling isn't a coincidence? That it's a direct message from your soul, a secret that Carl Jung, the genius of deep psychology, discovered decades ago? Today, you're going to learn how to make that energy inside you not only transform you, but also make others, even that special person, addicted to being near you. Stay with me because this isn't a cheap trick or shallow social media advice. This comes from the deepest parts of the human mind, and once you apply it, there's no turning back. Carl Jung, a man who spent his life exploring the hidden corners of our psyche, discovered that we all carry an entire universe inside us, a place full of mysteries he called the unconscious. It's not just a storage for forgotten memories. It's a living force, an inner guide that speaks through symbols, emotions, and those gut feelings you can't ignore. Did you know that, according to Jung, this unconscious is constantly trying to tell you who you really are and how to live a life worth living? But here's the problem. Most of us ignore it. We get caught up in the noise of the world, in others' expectations, in relationships that drain us instead of filling us. When that happens, our energy fades, and instead of shining, we become shadows of what we could be. Think about this for a second. How many times have you been with someone, a partner, a friend, a family member, and after a while you feel exhausted, like something was stolen from you? Maybe Maria, a 32-year-old woman from Bogota, goes out with her boyfriend on weekends. On the surface, everything seems great. Romantic dinners, laughter, Instagram photos. But when she gets home, she feels an emptiness she can't explain. Or imagine Juan, a 40-year-old man from Mexico City, who has a boss that praises him in public. But something in his tone makes him feel small, insecure. Jung would say this isn't a coincidence. That feeling is your unconscious screaming at you. Pay attention. This isn't aligned with who you are. And here's the first big secret. Your energy is sacred. When you protect it, when you listen to that voice, you become magnetic. People don't just want to be near you, they're drawn to you like an irresistible magnet. So what do we do with this? Jung gave us a key clue. The unconscious doesn't speak in direct words like a friend on a WhatsApp call. It communicates with symbols and feelings. That knot in your stomach, that weird dream you had last night about a dark path, that discomfort when someone asked for something you don't want to give. Those are all messages. If you ignore them, you disconnect from yourself. The result? You live a half-life, trapped in relationships that don't fill you, chasing goals that aren't yours, letting your light dim little by little. Imagine you're walking through life and come to a crossroads. On one side, there's a bright path full of people, safe, predictable, the path everyone tells you to take. Stay in that relationship even if it doesn't make you happy because it's stable. Keep that job that kills your soul because it pays the bills. But on the other side, there's a dark path full of shadows, a place where you don't know what you'll find. Jung would say the real power is in that second path, the one that scares you, the one that forces you to face what you don't want to see, because there, in the unknown, lies your authenticity, your pure energy, the kind that makes others unable to take their eyes off you. Let's talk about the shadow, a term Jung coined to describe the part of us we hide. The shadow isn't something bad. It's everything we deny or repress because it doesn't fit with what we want others to see. For example, maybe Anna, a 28-year-old mother in Los Angeles, always shows herself as sweet and accommodating with her partner. But deep down, she feels anger because she never puts her needs first. Or maybe Luis, a 35-year-old man in Medellin, sees himself as the strong guy who never cries, but he carries a pain he doesn't dare let go. That shadow doesn't disappear just because you ignore it. On the contrary, it leaks into your life, in how you snap at someone for no reason, in how you feel trapped in patterns you don't understand. Or even in how you attract people who seem to clash with you all the time? Here's the twist. Integrating that shadow, accepting it, doesn't just free you, it transforms your energy. When you stop fighting those ugly parts of yourself and embrace them, something changes. You become real, authentic, and that's addictive. Why do you think some people walk into a room and everyone looks at them? It's not just charisma, it's that they've made peace with who they are, shadows included. And you can do the same, but it's not easy. It requires looking in the mirror, not just the physical one, but the one of your soul, and asking yourself, what am I hiding? What part of me am I denying? Pause for a moment and reflect with me. Is there someone in your life who drains you? A relationship that looks perfect in pictures, but leaves you empty inside? Maybe it's your partner who always asks for more than you can give, or a friend who only reaches out when they need something. Jung would say those people are mirrors of your shadow, reflections of something you haven't faced. And as long as you don't, they'll keep stealing that spark you could use to shine. So here's a practical action. Today, identify one person who makes you feel this way and ask yourself, what is this showing me about myself? Write the answer in a notebook, on your phone, wherever. That's the first step to reclaiming your energy. Now imagine this. You're on a date. Everything's going well. Laughter, looks, chemistry. But suddenly, you feel something's off. It's not that they're treating you badly, but there's a vibe that makes you uncomfortable. Most people would say, it's just nerves, ignore it. But Jung would tell you, listen to that discomfort. It's your unconscious protecting you, telling you that person isn't aligned with your essence. And when you start trusting that intuition, you not only save yourself from relationships that dim your light, you start attracting people who do resonate with you. That's the magic of living from your truth. Before we move on, let me tell you that my book is now available. It's full of tips and techniques to help you overcome emotional blocks and love yourself more. Find the link in the description and the pinned comment. Let's continue. I want you to do something for me before we go to the next part. If this is resonating with you, leave a comment below. Write, I'm ready to listen to my inner voice, or share an experience where you ignored your intuition and paid the price. Your words don't just help me know you're with me, they inspire others who are reading. And if you want more people to discover this secret from Jung, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Let's build a community of brave, authentic people together. Ready for the next layer of this journey? Here we go. We just talked about how your unconscious speaks to you, how that inner voice and your shadow are keys to unlocking an energy that not only transforms you, but makes others unable to resist you. Now let's take it a step further. What happens when you start acting from that truth Jung invites us to discover? How do you make someone, yes, that person you care about, become addicted to your energy, not because you manipulate them, but because you become someone impossible to forget? This isn't about games or tricks. It's about aligning your life with your deepest essence, and Carl Jung has the answers. Think about the relationships you have right now. Maybe you're with someone you really like, but you feel like you're always giving more than you get. Or maybe there's a friend who only reaches out when it's convenient for them, and you, to avoid looking bad, stick around. Jung would say these dynamics aren't accidents. They're reflections of how you see yourself in your unconscious. He talked a lot about projection, a concept that means what you see in others, what you love, what you hate, is a mirror of what's inside you. If you let someone drain you, if you stay in a relationship that makes you feel small, you're projecting an unconscious belief. I don't deserve more. And here's the radical shift. When you reclaim your worth, when you protect your energy, people don't just notice you. They want to be near you because they feel that authentic strength. Imagine Sophia, a 29-year-old woman in Guadalajara. She's dating a man who seems perfect, attentive, fun, always has the right words. But every time they're together, she feels like she has to exaggerate her laugh, pretend to agree with everything, because if she doesn't, he pulls away. Or think of Miguel, a 38-year-old father in Miami, who has a friend that subtly criticizes him all the time. But he doesn't say anything because he doesn't want drama. Jung would say these aren't just toxic relationships, they're invitations from your unconscious to wake up. When you keep giving away your power, when you betray yourself to keep the peace, Your energy weakens and people feel it. But when you set boundaries, when you say no with love and firmness, something magical happens. You become magnetic. Let's talk about how to do this in practice. Jung taught us that the path to a full life starts with individuation, a term that sounds complicated, but simply means becoming who you really are, without masks. This isn't selfishness, it's authenticity. So how do you start? First, protect your energy like it's gold. If someone makes you feel less, if a relationship weighs you down more than it lifts you, pause and ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to my truth or pulling me away? For example, if you're with someone you like, but they always leave you waiting for a reply, don't beg for attention. Value yourself enough to say, I deserve more. And when you do, you'll see how that person starts seeking you out. Not because you chase them, but because your confidence draws them in. Pause for a second and reflect. Who in your life makes you feel like you have to change to be accepted? Maybe it's your partner who asks you to be quieter, more outgoing, more like they want. Or maybe it's you telling yourself you're not enough. Jung would say every time you mold yourself to fit in, you're betraying your unconscious, and that dims your light. But when you accept yourself with your flaws, your passions, your quirks, your energy changes. People notice. Suddenly that man or woman who ignored you starts looking at you differently because you're not seeking approval, you're projecting it. Now let's talk about letting go. Jung believed that relationships that don't work, those full of struggle and misunderstandings, are signals from your unconscious saying, this isn't for you. Imagine you're with someone who drives you crazy with love, but also frustration. Every conversation is a fight. Every plan gets complicated. You might think, if I try harder, I'll fix it. But Jung would invite you to see it differently. What if that chaos is your soul telling you to let go? It's not giving up. It's freeing yourself. For example, Clara, a 34-year-old woman in Barranquilla, spent years trying to get her ex to value her. When she finally let him go, she not only regained her peace, she met someone who saw her for who she was without forcing her to change. Letting go isn't losing. It's making space for what does belong to you. Here's another practical action. Today, choose a relationship that weighs you down and write 3 things you'd like to change about it. Then decide if it's worth trying or if it's time to let go. If you choose to let go, do it with love, not resentment. Tell yourself, I release this to open myself to something better. And trust. The universe responds when you align with your truth. Jung called it synchronicity, those coincidences that aren't random, but signs you're on the right path. When you let go of what doesn't serve you, the right people start showing up like magic. Let's pause here. If this is stirring something inside you, leave me a comment. Tell me I'm ready to let go, or share a relationship that taught you to value yourself. And if you think someone in your life needs this message, share it with them. Imagine the impact if we all started living from our authenticity. Subscribe if you haven't, and turn on the bell, because what's coming in the next part will give you the final tools to make your energy addictive. Ready? Let's keep going. We just saw how letting go and protecting your energy puts you on the path to authenticity, the place where, according to Carl Jung, your true strength shines. Now let's close this journey with something powerful. How to make that energy not only lift you up, but make others, especially that person you want to impact, addicted to being near you. This isn't manipulation. It's the natural result of living from your essence. And Jung left us the map to achieve it. Get ready, because this will change how you see yourself and how others see you. Let's talk about synchronicity again, because this Jung concept is key. It's when the universe seems to conspire in your favor. You meet the perfect person at the right time, and opportunity comes when you need it most. But this doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you're connected to your unconscious, when you listen to that inner voice and act from there. For example, think of Laura, a 27-year-old woman in Monterey. After years in relationships that made her doubt herself, she decided to listen to herself and prioritize herself. One day, without looking for it, she met someone in a cafe who not only understood her, but was drawn to her calm, her confidence. That's synchronicity. The world responds when you live your truth. So how do you do this in real life? Jung would say it all starts with integrating your shadow and living from your individuation. We already talked about the shadow, those parts you hide, and individuation, the process of being yourself without filters. But now let's take it to the next level. Let your energy speak for you. When you accept yourself fully, with your fears, your dreams, your light, and your darkness, you stop needing anyone's approval, and that's addictive. Imagine Diego, a 36-year-old man in Cali, who always felt he had to be the funny one to be loved. When he stopped performing and started showing his real self, his partner told him, "I don't know what it is, but I can't stop thinking about you." That's the key. Authenticity doesn't explain itself, it's felt. Pause and reflect with me. When was the last time you felt free to be you, without masks? Maybe with a friend who accepts you as you are, or in a moment alone where you felt at peace. Jung would say those are glimpses of your true self. And when you live from there, you don't have to do anything to attract. It just happens. Here's a practical action. Today, do something that connects you to that authentic version of you. It could be writing how you feel, dancing alone in your room, or saying no to something you don't want to do. Notice how you feel after. That spark you feel is your energy waking up, and others will sense it. Now let's talk about relationships. If you want someone to become addicted to your energy, it's not about chasing them or impressing them. It's about shining from within. Jung believed our relationships are projections of our inner world. If you're at peace with yourself, you attract peace. If you're at war with yourself, you attract chaos. Think about this. Have you noticed that when you're sure of yourself, people seek you out more? It's because your energy is clear, strong, irresistible. For example, if you're dating someone and stop begging for their attention, if you focus on what makes you happy, suddenly they start coming closer. It's not magic, it's deep psychology. Here's another example. Mariana, a 31-year-old woman in Chicago, was obsessed with getting her partner to pay more attention to her. But when she started investing in her own dreams, painting, something she always loved, he began looking at her differently. "What changed?" he asked one day. She didn't say anything, just smiled. Her energy had spoken. That's what Jung teaches us. When you prioritize yourself, when you live from your center, you don't need words to make an impact. Let's make a final pause. If this is inspiring you, leave me a comment. Write, "I'm going to shine from my truth," or share how you plan to reconnect with yourself. And if this message touched your heart, share it with someone who needs this push. Subscribe and turn on the bell because we'll keep exploring how to transform your life with these ideas. But before we go, let's make this clear. In summary, Carl Jung showed us that your energy is your power. Listen to your unconscious, embrace your shadow, let go of what doesn't serve you, and live from your authenticity. When you do, you'll not only feel whole, you'll make others want to be near you, drawn by a force they can't ignore. Reflect today. What are you going to let go of? What are you going to embrace? The change starts with you, and the world is waiting for your light. Thanks for being here. If you dared to make it to the end, you're part of something special. Share this video, leave your comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember, your energy doesn't just define you, it transforms everything around you. See you soon.